Sitting in the cul-de-sac, contemplating murder. Swerving with my circus, looking for a purpose. Pseudo clean record, hope got another surface.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 13 of Culper's Canteen Cup. We really appreciate everybody listening out there. Want to thank Carlton Zeus for that intro music again. That's Alpha Child. You can check more of his music out at Apple Music or at carltonzeus.com. Hey, again, real quick, we want to thank everybody that's listening out there, especially all our international listeners. I forget how many countries we're in, but special shout outs to our listener in Taiwan. Still not sure if you're a Ministry of State Security guy or not, but either way, we appreciate you helping us bump our numbers up, brother. So, hey, what we want to do real quick, it's Memorial Day weekend. All three of us are veterans, and so it's a weekend and a holiday that's really near and dear to our hearts. So we want to do a quick episode and just kind of give you the background on Memorial Day for those who might not be aware of the history behind it, and then we're each going to highlight somebody that we're thinking about a lot this all the time, but especially this weekend.
All right, everybody, happy Memorial Day weekend there. I'll give you a little bit of background on Memorial Day in case you've been asleep for your whole life, but. Basically, Memorial Day kind of started back after the Civil War, 1868. It used to be called Decoration Day. The main purpose of Memorial Day is to honor and mourn those who have fallen while serving in the military. You see the flags being planted at the national cemeteries, and you'll see a lot of parades, and you'll see a lot of mattress sales too, which pisses a lot of people off. Doesn't piss me off. But it's the unofficial start of summer. So that's one of the reasons you'll see a lot of these sales going on and stuff like that. I personally don't get too offended about that kind of stuff. That said, Memorial Day is to honor the fallen. Veterans Day is to honor those who have served in the armed forces. And there's an unofficial holiday earlier in May called Armed Forces Day, and honors those who currently serve. So, a lot of people have a bone to pick with people who, thank a veteran on Memorial Day. Again, I personally don't have a problem with that because at least they're thinking about the military. This holiday has always been, near and dear to my heart, like Josh said. So I've always had an interest in serving in the military. Had a few family members over the years, World War II, so on and so forth. Josh said we're going to, pick somebody we knew personally or a story we knew about a veteran who passed in the line of service. And, if anybody who knows me personally automatically knows who I'm going to pick is Lieutenant Darryn Andrews. Darryn is a cousin of mine who passed away September 4th, 2009 in Afghanistan. Now, I found that out the day before my birthday. I'll never forget where I was when I found that out. I just couldn't believe it. And the whole family wanted to know what happened. A lot of people were dying back then in Afghanistan. And if you knew Darryn, it was a real shock to our whole family because the guy was just a joy to be around. He had, he's a GQ looking guy. He had that GQ body, and it's just natural that he goes into the military. He had tried twice before, and both times when he was he tried to enlist twice before. And both times when he went through, he tore up his hip really bad. I think he first went into the Marine Corps, and in boot camp, he tore up his hip real bad. And the second time, I can't remember. I think it had to do with his ankle. And he could have turned his back on it, but he was driven. So he deferred his service, went through college, and then commissioned as a second lieutenant. And that guy went infantry, as Darryn would. And so he found himself at I think it was Paktika, Afghanistan, and there's some consternation in the family on what his mission truly was, because it was during the Bo Bergdahl time and all that stuff. I don't want to get sidetracked on that because to me it's not really important. They were ambushed by an IED and follow-on attack with small arms and RPGs. And at the very last second, Darryn saw an RPG being prepared to fire on his position with his guys. He dove in front, knocked two guys out of the way, and took the brunt of that RPG explosion. And he died right there instantly. He was petitioned for the Medal of Honor, but he ended up getting the Silver Star. He did get the Texas Legislative Medal of Honor. He's now buried in in the National Cemetery at Fort Sam Houston. Now, again, I disagree a lot with, to be honest, probably letting you too far behind the curtain here. I disagree with my family and some of my family and how they mourn his loss, because I'll tell you, the world would be a better place if Darryn was still here, and especially if he was still serving, which he would be. I'd much rather him be here right now because I miss him. But as Josh and Roger will tell you, and just about every non-cuck, non-SJW flower child male, in other words, red-blooded American males like us, if you've got to go, you want to go like Darryn went. Darryn was saved 2 guys, got a Silver Star in the heat of combat. He was doing what he loved for his country. He died a hero. And that's how I'll always remember him, regardless of the situation or the bullshit politics that get involved. So Monday is going to be my day to honor Darryn and be joyful. Try to be joyful. Sorrowful that he's not here, but joyful in the way he died as a hero. That's the way we all want to go. Not sitting on our bed when we're 88 years old telling stories about like what it was. I'll be telling stories about Darryn if I live that long. So that's my story about Lieutenant Darryn Andrews. There's a lot of roads, libraries, stuff like that named after him in Texas. It's not near enough, but that's how it is. So I'm gonna bounce it over to Roger now. And happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Hey, thanks, Luke, and great story. And it's, I think those that have served, especially since 9/11, we all have those folks that have passed away either in the line of duty, folks that we knew after they got out, they retired. This time of year is a little bit tough for me. So, I like the intro with the a little bit of the history of Memorial Day, because I pulled this up the other day just doing some gurgling. So they surveyed 2,000 people, and only 43% of the 2,000 knew the meaning of Memorial Day, which is a little disheartening. And obviously has changed a lot because of, the folks that are in the military and your exposure to it and the perception or what have you. But, I think that's part of the reason for this episode is just if we can give folks 20 minutes to recognize the true meaning of Memorial Day, I think we've met our purpose. Like I said, this is kind of a tough time of year for me because, I have a birthday coming up. My son was actually born the same day that I was born. So, we have a celebratory piece right there. My father was his date of birth was a week prior to mine, who's passed away. But then also at this time of year, I have a son-in-law who passed away a couple years ago. And who was a private in the Army. And then in the line of duty, the one story I want to share. So, Private First Class Sam Williams Huff. Everybody knows I was a recruiter. And, for those of you that have heard the episode, there's some jovial pieces to it and there's some good times. But, we recruited in a time of war. So there's a lot of stories that weren't so good. And one of the things that you take with you as a recruiter is, for the good recruiters, there are men and women that you play a role in the life path that they choose, right? That they go down. And for Sam, I reached out to her. She was a high school senior at Mountain View High School down in Tucson. Her mom was a former Marine, so you can imagine that, just tough as nails. And, the girl had it all, total package, good looking girl. She was part of like the dance team and the cheerleading and just smart, everything, had the whole package. Sat there and talked to her. She was ready at 16 years old to join the Army. Said, hey, we can't do it at 16. Got to 18 to turn 17. We get parental consent, all that good stuff. She turns 17. She ends up joining, becomes a military police officer, goes off to training. And then 18 April 2005, she was in Baghdad, Iraq. They were ambushed, also hit an IED, and she was the driver of that Humvee. She was the driver because she was actually supposed to be the gunner, but she wasn't strong enough because she wasn't very big, so she couldn't be up top on the Humvee, so they made her as the driver. She was down there, took the brunt of the blast. She was the only one that died, the only serious casualty out of all that. And I hear from some of the folks that were around her and with her at the time, like I said, she was the only death during that incident. And, she was like, hey, I need you to call my mom, call my dad. And then I think it was her either platoon sergeant or squad leader, or whatever, was with her. It was like, hey, kind of give the your typical, hey, you're going to call your mom and dad and tell them that you're okay. And her last words were, tell my mom I love her and tell my dad good luck with his album. So with that, I'm going to kind of kick it back to Josh. My heart goes out to the family. Not a day goes by I don't think about it. And, that's kind of the other side of the recruiting tale that, as we pull these curtains back that, you don't always see.
Hey, thanks, Roger. That's, especially that's got to be tough, especially as a recruiter, because you do have a direct hand in their, in their profession, by putting them into service. So, for me, and all of us and a lot of the listeners out there, we've all been to one too many ramp ceremonies, one too many memorials. We've heard one too many roll calls. And, so there's a lot of folks I'm thinking about this weekend. The one guy I chose, guy named Eugene Alex. He was a staff sergeant with me in Striker Brigade. He was a Cav Scout. He was in 19 Delta. And the first time I met Eugene, he was in our first platoon, one of our scout platoons. The first time I met Eugene, I couldn't stand him. And the first field problem that we did, I really all I wanted to do was murder him and bury him in a snowbank. But, he was that guy. He was just that guy who grew on you. He was that guy who no matter how much it sucked and how bad the situation was, he always had some smart ass comment to say. He always had some way to just lighten the mood and make it, make everything just a little bit better. He was just that guy. So we were in Baghdad. And I had been sliced out to support 4 Battalion 23rd Infantry in Baghdad. So I was over supporting them. He was still, 414 Cav. And, we'd see each other in the chow hall every now and then, bumping each other and, and get a chance to talk and, we BS. And so one morning, I was leaving breakfast. He was going in, we stopped, we BS for about 5 minutes, did the bro hug and everything. And, later that evening, it was the next day, that evening I was leaving dinner, headed back to the TOC, and, one of our buddies, he stopped me and asked me if I had heard, Eugene was, he was sitting out on top of his striker out in downtown Baghdad. He was like crotch defilade, in the air guard hatch, which, name tape defilade, man. It's name tape defilade for a reason. But he'd been shot in the head by a single round. And he survived that in the beginning, but by the time they evacuated him to the cache and then got him on forward to Landstuhl, he was at Landstuhl a very short time before he passed away. I miss that dude. I wish he was here. He was just a good guy. His wife Melissa, he had 2 boys and a girl. And now they got to grow up without a dad. But I think, Eugene went out doing, like Luke said, he went out doing what he wanted to do. He went out, in a way that would make any of us proud. Just going out, finding searching to close with and destroy the enemy. But yeah, I really wish that dude was here. We talk a lot, people talk a lot, about the wars and the politics surrounding them and everything. And people say that people died for nothing. I would argue that, people died for the people on their, to their left and right. They didn't die for nothing. So that's not always a popular opinion. So again, everybody, we just wanted to we wanted to throw this out there, for this weekend. Again, it's something, it's a weekend that's special to us, a weekend that's special to a lot of our listeners. We wanted to keep it short so you can enjoy the weekend, enjoy the time to reflect. If anybody gives you shit about barbecuing this weekend or, hanging out and having fun, don't listen to them. I will tell you that the people that I know that have gone on before us, they would want you to do that. They would want you to go live. They don't want you to sit on your couch and, and just sit there and, be miserable thinking about them. They would want you to go out, go burn it down, float the keg, polish off that bottle. Nobody wants you just to sit there and be miserable, man. I tell you, don't cry for me. When it's my time, like, go out and party, celebrate me, and so I'll leave everybody with this. It's a poem that a guy wrote back in Vietnam in January, 1970. So it's kind of, not starting to wind it down. Vietnam's still going, but it's we're past the Tet Offensive and everything. But I tell you, it resonates with me, and it's one of those that is timeless. It can be applied to any conflict that we've had. So I'll just read it to you real quick. So, if you're able, save for them a place inside of you and save one backward glance when you are leaving for the places they can no longer go. Be not ashamed to say you love them, though you may or may not have always. Take what they have taught you with their dying and keep it with your own. And in that time, when men decide and feel safe to call the war insane, take one moment to embrace those gentle heroes you left behind. So that was written by Major Michael Davis O'Donnell, 1 January 1970. In Dak To, Vietnam, Republic of. Major O'Donnell was later KIA in Vietnam. So, again, we really appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate everything you do. For those folks that are still out there in harm's way, God bless, and hopefully we'll see you on the next episode.